We're back! Welcome to the Club Racing UK podcast, season 2, 2 weeks after we had the last one. Anyway, I'm Robert Lewis. We're back. It's 2021. It's a new year. So much for having a break, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm Robert Lewis. Yes. We've got the two miscreants next to us, as per usual. Nick Holmes and Mr. Sheen himself, Stefan Marsh.
Mr. Spammer.
Mr. Spammer. We also have 3 guests on this week, and it's also the same amount, incidentally, as the number of goals that Leeds United conceded against Crawley Town in the FA Cup. Isn't that right, Ian?
and that's being cut off straight away.
And that is how you bring a man out of the shadows, part 1.
Yes.
That's how you upset the production company right there.
That's how you upset everyone. So, our guests on this week, we have Chris Pratt from All Square Rap and Ride. We have Tom Barley from Wired Remote for GoPro. And we have, from Rocked It, the man himself, Mr. Tin Tops UK, Nick Underwood. Good evening, gents.
Good evening. Thanks for having us.
No worries. How are you all doing?
Evening, guys.
Yeah, good. Other than the old lockdown being a bit painful, can't complain.
It's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Right, what's everyone up to then? Are we all building cars? Come on, what's going on?
I'm homeschooling.
I'm the mini.
We all love Leeds. Oh, nice. Well played, Ian. Well played.
Just for anyone that's listening on our audio section on Spotify or any other good podcast outlet, Ian's just put on the display "We all love Leeds," and let's point out, so do the Crawley Town Strikers. Moving on. Moving on,
anyway,
ladies and gentlemen.
Back to the Motorsport podcast.
Back to the Motorsport podcast. Unfortunately, gents, we have to do this. We start on a solemn note because in the gap since the last podcast, we've lost 3 quite brilliant characters from the world of UK motorsport. We start off with Rick Parker Morris, who is one of the stalwarts and main men behind the Thunder Saloons. He raced this mega quick Peugeot 309 for years and organised the special saloons for the CSCC. One of the greats, up there with Pete Stevens, who we also sadly lost in 2020. Unfortunately, Rick passed away on the 8th of January from COVID after doing quite a lot of work, including installing equipment for the Nightingale hospitals and working on hospitals in central London in the fight against COVID. Bear with me.
Shit, isn't it?
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
It said a lot. I was writing the script and I text Nick and I'm like, literally the first 2 pages are obituaries. It's to put it bluntly, it's fucking shit. But
it's a reminder, isn't it, why we have to take this seriously. You know, as much as I joke about saying this is painful being in a lockdown, when stuff like that happens, somebody who seemed fit and healthy, you know, we're all vulnerable. So a real shame. Thoughts with his family.
Yeah, unfortunately as well, we
100%.
also lost stalwart at Castle Combe at the circuit and with the racing club, Mike Groom. He was a well-known photographer at the race meetings and a well-liked personality who will be sadly missed. Here we have a throwback to a wet Howard's Day in 2018, snapping one of his supporters, Chris Hicknell, in the Peugeot 106. And last but not least, we lost a giant in the commentating world. We only just mentioned him on the podcast with Ben Edwards because
last episode.
Because quite literally, he was one of the greats of circuit commentary. He was unique. He had a brilliant style. Long-time Brands Hatch commentator, Brian Jones. A true legend behind the microphone. His distinctive voice guided us through many of the venue's most iconic moments. And he was still commentating at the Formula Ford Festival just a few years ago and fondly remembered by Ben Edwards on the Christmas special. Everyone at Club Racing UK and in the wider community sends their condolences to the families and everyone involved. For God's sake, everyone, just stay safe.
100%.
Wear a mask. Peace and love.
You knew you were having a good race if Brian was chatting about you over the tannoy. I always remember coming out of races and asking my girlfriend, did he mention me? Did he say? You know, you knew if you were having a good day if he was talking about you. So a real loss. It won't quite sound the same.
Exactly. Right. let's pick ourselves up then. Let's get on to a bit more of a positive note and let's see who's tuned into us tonight. Jonathan Bevan. He's decorated 9 rooms.
9 rooms?
My missus is trying to get me to decorate at the moment, and I'm trying to think of ways to get out of it. Now, stop it, Jonathan.
Is he a decorator? That's a lot of rooms.
More
He's
to
trying to
the
get their
point.
brownie points in the bag early, isn't he?
Yeah. Bloody 9 rooms.
Exactly. Maxine Nichols joins us. Hello, Maxine, a regular tuner into the show. Vicky
Even
Pratt joins us.
Who?
Now I have
Who?
Vicky Pratt. I have a feeling she has a vested interest in tuning in tonight, but we might come across that. We never know. Cameron Tunio joins
It's because
us.
I've done my hair, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is.
That's what it is.
That's
Oh.
it. You noticed that as soon as Nick mentioned about the hair and sort of getting people to have a look at him, the camera went straight to his crotch.
Yes, it did.
Remember that?
Where am I going? Okay, I'm going to turn this thing off.
Oh,
I'm going to turn that off, I think.
Finsport and Taylor Norton also join us. Matt Cleary as well. Good evening, everyone. Right, let's move on to some news. Go on then, Stefan.
Hold on. Wait, we should all just say Happy New Year, everyone, as well. It is obviously our
Yes,
first show.
happy 2021. What a 2 weeks this has been. Jesus.
There's a certain point in this month where you've just got to stop saying it, so I just wanted to get that in there. Happy New Year, everyone.
It'll soon be
That's a
Easter.
good one.
Let's make it a
It'll
good
soon be
one.
Easter. Okay, let's go to the news roundup. Stefan, what do you want?
So we've got some big news for the Club Racing UK race team. It felt only right to. We were going to wait until the car was liveried up and everything, but it felt right to tonight as we've got the man on the show with us, that Chris from All Square, Rap and Ride, whatever he wants to call himself up there, is sponsoring the KA and the Mini for the 2021 season. Get in.
That's right. Yeah, we're committing to sponsoring these guys. Been working with them for a couple of years now, really, through the ambassador program and chatting to them and various other things. So it kind of seemed logical, really, to give them a bit more support. They do a lot for us, so yeah, hopefully we can do something back for them by giving them more good setups. Done a KA already, haven't we? And,
Another race-winning KA, please.
Yeah, so we did okay with that one. So yeah, we'll have a go at getting the Mini up there as well. So yeah, that'd be good for this year, good for 2021. Get it set up and help them at the track when we can.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Happy with that race. It's going to be good. Hopefully, it doesn't mess up the racing series, but
we get out eventually. We will get out eventually.
It won't. It's not going to.
Fingers crossed. I think because of the timing and the fact that we've been here before, COVID will probably play a part. But let's just hope.
Just think, gents. Actually, this time last year, we were just coming over a fantastic autosport show. I think me and Steph were still sitting down, going, "What the hell has just happened?" We had a seven car display next to the F1 section. Autosport, probably the biggest motorsport show going.
Yeah.
And COVID wasn't even a word, was it, this time last year? So
not to us.
It was just starting to creep into the news. That was about it.
Oh yeah.
It's mad. 12 months ago. It doesn't feel like 12 months ago. I mean,
it feels like 10 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. It's weird to think that the year hasn't started with Autosport show. It's just haven't known it. Haven't known it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for next year. Fingers crossed for next
year. We had some good plans ready for Autosport, so hopefully we can get back there properly next year.
Yeah, we will.
There we go. Okay, back to some comments quickly. Maxine Nichols, my New Year's dilemma is the new race car. Does she stay neon pink or go turquoise instead?
Pink.
Both.
Oh, yeah, both.
No worries. Si Shezza also comments, be back in 5. The dog needs to push a log out. I didn't need to know that, Simon. Christ.
Rob, you cannot read a Si Shezza comment without something like that in it.
Exactly. Vicky Pratt did comment saying, Nick, the hair's looking great.
Thank you.
Again, Simon Welch, Neil Ashcroft, Damien Hurst, they all join us. So, evening, gentlemen. Right, on to some news. Well, on that note about COVID, it seriously needs to bugger off now. All right, Boris, all the racing bar, the elite stuff is on until mid-February. Let's be honest, it's going to be March at least, isn't it, with the current lockdown situation? Get everything calmed down, get the NHS back to normal and crack on from there. I did get a message from Jonathan Bevan, so thank you for the information. The Classic and Modern Motorsport Club Southern team have added a micro car class, adding cars up to 1,300 to run in its sprint championships. As long as you follow the existing regs in place for the C1, K8 and the City Car Cup, they thought it was a good idea to open up the lower class. Classic and Modern Motorsport has a good little calendar, which starts at Lyddon, and they're on the GP circuit of Brands as well. It's always a good calendar. I believe the aim this year is to also discount the entry the more that people enter. I know the Modified Fords run a similar scheme. So basically, the more entries you get, the less it's going to cost for you to enter.
The cheaper it becomes.
Exactly.
I will say, I really like that. Because we see it loads. We see it loads on the club about how people want to see KAC ones and even the City Cup now. I know everyone, when the City Cup launched, everyone was like, well, you know, why can't we put all these cars together? The fact that the CMMC have done that, I don't think it will dilute, like, because I know we've spoken in the past about diluting, but I quite like the idea of doing maybe like a one-off all-comers race or something like that.
I think ultimately you're probably going to get one car that's going to trump them all, that's slightly lighter, slightly, you know, and then everyone will just eventually go that way. So if the only thing,
the only thing with that, Stefan, is the City Car Cup has got a slightly bigger sort of. It's got a better sort of package, a sort of faster package for it. So I think they're going to be the quicker cars in that particular class. But what they're trying to do is branch out and add something to it. Jonathan Bevan.
I think as long as everyone's got someone to race, then it should be fun, shouldn't it? You know, if you get a slightly slower driver in a faster car and a faster driver in a slightly slower car, you've got a good race to have.
Very true.
Yeah.
There we go. Exactly.
What about Spa? Is that on the agenda for that with a big grid? Because you can have massive grids out there on the long races, can't you?
I don't know, to be honest.
Unsure on that one, are we?
Unsure
Brexit
on that
might
one.
make it a bit difficult, but I bet that'd be fun.
Well, to be honest, I
was
something car in KA. Take quite a long time.
I was looking to add that into the news this week.
3-lap race.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the 2 CVs and the C1s have done it for years.
Oh God!
Nick, I'm just stating that the 2
It's
CVs
2021, Rob. It's 2021, Rob. Come on.
I'm just mentioning that they used to, say then, but I won't mention crashing or anything like that. I'll leave that in 2020, Nick. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, please. Thank you.
The registration is now open for the following championships with the MSV, the Track Day Trophy, Track Day Championship, the Enduro KA, and the Super Cup. I know I've already put my entry in. Hopefully, quite a few of you guys have as well.
May have.
Oh, yeah.
May have. Have you not put yours in yet?
Yeah, no, they're definitely in. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
They're in.
Got to make sure we can retain our number.
I'm hoping I can get mine because I realised someone was running my number last year in a BMW.
Again.
So, that's what I've asked for because it ties in with the car. But whether I get it or not, I don't know. If not, it's going to be 169 because I can.
Are you guys worried about grids being oversubscribed and struggling to get entries, or do you not think that's going to be a problem?
To be honest, I mean, we saw it with the modified Fords. There, I was talking to Paul Neville the other day. It's got to a point. Well, see, Nick chuckled there because he knows what I'm on about. They've got 44 cars entered for Silverstone. They could have 50. They've got a potential for 53. So what they've done is they've bought extra track. They've got a potential to buy a bit of extra track space off the BRSCC for that particular meeting, and they can run 3 separate races and chop the grids up because it's a series.
Oh, yeah.
So there's not championship points at stake, and there's some beautiful cars in that series.
Oh,
so
that RS 2000 you sent me earlier.
Yeah, that's running in Class A. That thing is absolutely astronomical. And then you've got down to, the likes of Phil Neal that's running in Class C in a budget 1600 Focus. You've got Mark 1 Fiestas in there. You've got Class B, a couple of Mark 2 Escorts with nutty engines. There's me in a battered Focus with a massive splitter on it. A few Fiestas, up to Class A with your big turbo. 4 laps, actually. Anyway,
once there's events in the diary and the racing can happen again, I think the action's going to be more exciting than it has been in recent years. I know grids have been good, but I've had so many races where you end up in the middle of nowhere and it's kind of like a test day. I think those days are going to be gone because everyone's going to be so desperate to get the cars out of the garage and go and have fun. So it should be exciting once it all kicks off.
Well, this is it. I mean, we saw record grids even after first lockdown last year. Yeah. So, as you say, with everyone finishing their builds and just itching to get out this year, I think it could be quite a common issue we might see. But
you might see condensed, shortened seasons as well. More people want to get out.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a fair point as well, Nick. Yeah.
It's a very fair point, and I think that the one thing from my point of view as a club racer, I would prefer to see grids oversubscribed than struggling, because that has been a case with a few series over the years. You have seen the likes of Autosport and Motorsport magazine publishing articles saying it's club racing dying. It is to a certain extent, but I would much rather see the tracks full and oversubscribed and them having that problem, because at the end of the day, that means money's going into the industry. That means there's something there to keep alive. If it's struggling, that's when the alarm bells will ring. And it's good for companies like yourselves, isn't it, gents? So,
absolutely.
Obviously, you've got the likes. You're going to be selling helmet bags by the dozen. You're going to be selling GoPro kits by the dozen. Chris is going to be, making sure the KA gets wins and the Mini comes second.
Behind KA, let's hope
I like your angle there, Rob.
As long as it beats that Focus, hey mate.
That's what matters. I don't care where we got in front of the Focus.
As long as we beat Rob's.
Well, to be fair,
remember
Nick,
you've got to overtake two things: his car, then the splitter.
And the ironic thing is, Nick is racing my car against Stefan. Well, we're not really against each other. We're in different bloody classes.
Wow.
But anyway, but Nick is actually racing my car with me in the first 2 rounds of the championship. So that's going to be good fun.
Ford.
He does love Ford. He does.
I love Ford. I love Ford.
But unfortunately, it is coming off the back of the car. I have got something. I have also got a new livery lined up for the car. So all soon to be revealed.
Oh, that's going to be so funny. Oh dear.
I look forward to be driving past that, by the way, Rob.
What the new livery?
It's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
What, driving past it on the recovery truck when your gearbox blows up? The banter started already. I love it. No, it should be a good season. I'm looking forward to it. Now, down to Castle Combe. They've actually released their calendars and they had quite a nice little layout there. We've got a picture for you. There we go. Look at that lot. So we've got the Howard's Day, the May Day Madness, and the Combe Challenge. The big race weekend, Saturday, June 12th and June the 13th. Club Racing UK and Rob Lewis Racing with the Club Racing UK podcast team will be there with the Track Day Championship. Excuse me. We also have the Classic and Retro race weekend, the Combe Countdown, and the Grand Finale, as well as the Autumn Classic. As we know, gents, Castle Combe always delivers fantastic racing, brilliant in-house championships as well.
Coupled with all of that they've done there, they also released their show days as well the other day. It's going to be packed. I think we need to get onto a couple of those as well. We get a stand there, especially if we can get to the action day one. I'll
put the stand, Nick. I'll put the track time.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So if anyone wants to display their race car at one of the Castle Combe action days, get in touch. We will be organising it.
Fantastic. And what we do actually have as well, hopefully, is a taster video for you that Castle Combe released recently. Okay, so
club racing. That's fun.
It wasn't all of the racing clubs there, but that is probably one of the biggest stalwarts of the Castle Combe Racing Club over the years, the Saloon Car Championship. They've got 8 rounds of 15 lap races with 4 classes, and now saloon cars of any age are now eligible for 2021. More details on their website, castlecoomberacingclub.co.uk/championships/saloons. And you can also register free.
Awesome.
There we go. And tomorrow, this might be where Ian pops in, because I know Mr. Waterhouse has something to do with this, if he's not crying over the Leeds result. MSD Live have their Motorsport Trade Network event tomorrow, the 14th of Jan. Over 400 attendees. Don't miss out. There we go. That's some of the lovely people there.
Look at that.
There we go. Lots and lots of people there. Are any of you guys attending?
It's good. Yeah, I'm going to be going, hopefully.
Fantastic.
Going. I mean, you're just going onto a website.
I'm going to be sitting in my living room in my pants, logging onto a website, walking around for the day.
Wow.
Don't worry. I will put trousers on, everyone.
I feel sick.
Hopefully he sorts out some nice deals in it.
I'll see what I can do for us, Steph.
If he's walking
around
in his pants, he's not going to be sorting out anything. He's going to be getting injunctions against him.
Hey, well, yeah.
Especially with your camera, Nick, that keeps falling down in your lap.
Hey, look, I've gone hands free now. I've packed this thing away.
Okay, right. We've got off track there a little bit. Okay, right. Moving on.
Oh, what? Hold on a minute. We've gone off away from the script. It's not like us.
Yeah, we've gone off the script, and we've started talking about the next crotch again.
Just because it's a new series, it doesn't mean the content's going to change. That's for sure.
Well, to be fair, we are planning some new things this year. Jesus, give us some credit.
We are.
Anyway.
We are.
And Rob, anyway, you need to read some comments, because there's quite an important one I think we need to discuss.
Quite an important one that we need to discuss. Where am I looking at? What page?
I'm on the Club Racing UK one.
Club Racing UK. Sorry, I've got loads of bloody...
I'll just read some out. I'm sure it'll pop up.
I have. Right, Patrick Seal. If anyone fancies Super Cup, they do have an Arrive and Drive M3 available. That's very true. It's an immaculately prepared car. Unfortunately, you will be up against Tango, which is just beautiful. But they do have a very juicy E46 M3. Maxine Nichols.
Just quickly.
Patrick, if you fancy it, me and Nick can do a review of a drive in that M3 if you fancy it.
Oh, well, I was actually going to say, Steph, it's already been arranged.
Was it? Even better.
Yeah, because if I say it live on the show that they are doing it for us with Red Seal Racing, they have to honour it. So this is my new angle. This is my new angle for this year. That Red Seal Racing are going to let us have a go in their car. So
still on the black.
If they don't, then people are going to be disappointed. So there you go, guys.
There we go. Patrick Seal does say thanks, chap. Absolutely. Right, Maxine has got her bits over to us for the ambassadors role. We will come on to the ambassadors later on. And they have said, guys, you do have to do the Burkett this year. It's on the list.
That's the important one. We need to make
we are going to do the Burkett this year.
Fantastic.
Right there. It's back on his angle again.
There we go, back on the angle right now. So that's going to be a very expensive year. I better work some more overtime to get the entry fees. Get the entry fees back in for that. Jonathan Bevan does comment: "You bend it, you mend it." I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. Pescara Productions. Boss used to be the one with the huge grids that went quiet for a few years, so I'm guessing a lot of cars have been dusted off. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think there was a bit of a split. Not going to get into that on the air or anything like that. But, you know, they're both offering different things, so good luck to both of them. We like to remain neutral on this show, don't forget. We're just about club racing as a whole. Andy Pointer. Might have been covered before. What's your opinion about the late end of the season, in particular weather conditions, which led to smaller grids? Gentlemen.
What would you rather, have the events available or not? That's how I'd look at it. I think I've never really enjoyed racing in the wet, being brutally honest. I always found it much more difficult, much more stressful. I spent a lot of time in gravel traps. Anybody that knows me will tell you I did not mind a trip to the beach. I think people were put in a difficult position, weren't they, to get enough events in to make clubs tick over. If you don't like the wet weather racing, they're not for you. But it's a good chance to get out and learn, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. It looked a bit treacherous, didn't it? Those last two that last race weekend at Donington, very cold, very wet. It looked tricky.
Even the KA racing in November, it was treacherous.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's the nature of the UK, isn't it? The UK is a miserable place to be anyway. I mean, how many times did we report on crap race weekends that were, I don't know, June, July time? Snetterton absolutely hammered. Wetterton it became, didn't it? That was in a peak race season, so you never know. Global warming.
You've just got to try and take the positives out of it as well. If you enter and you get there and it's peeing down, you'll probably learn more in 5 laps in the horrid conditions than you will all day in the dry. So, try and learn something that you can carry on. And,
it's a good level. It's a good leveler as well, isn't it? Rain is a great leveler. You could be the most shit hot, sticky track dry driver going. Stick a little bit of rain on there, and you watch people struggle. It's brilliant. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Isn't it fascinating when you see people that can absolutely excel in those conditions? The amount of times I've felt like I was really pushing the limit, and this was terrible, and then someone comes up the inside of you like they're on a different time. And you think, okay, right. I've got a few stories like that, which is part of the reason why I'm not racing right now.
Just start flicking through the book of excuses like, crap.
But, that's good as well, because you see other people driving a different line in a different way, and you think, okay, you can learn something from the car in front, or if you do that, what did they do differently? Try and pick up a corner here and there. It can make a big difference.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely.
There we go. I mean, to be honest, a big indicator of that. I mean, even you had it at Alton Park, didn't you, Nick? So
and then the 116 trophy, that was hairy.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've been out at a race meeting in August, and it's absolutely peed it down with rain. So it's not necessarily, you're less likely to get it wet, but I think the cold adds to it as well.
I'm just thinking the prime example was us in the KA at Alton Park for the first year we did it. We did the test day on the Friday, and it was something like 26, 27 degrees. It was absolutely gorgeous. Hotter than that. It was absolutely gorgeous. We thought we'd absolutely nail it come qualifying. Woke up and it was torrential rain. It was.
So it's such a horrible feeling that you look outside the hotel window or whatever, and you think, "Oh no, God!"
All that hard work gone.
And also, if you're having a good dry race and you're running in a good position and it starts raining, those horrible days where you had wet boots all day, they're going to pay dividends, because you're not going to melt in the seat and not know what to do. You can take it in your stride a bit more. Having said that, I sound like I'm preaching. I never enjoyed it. So, I took the sunshine every day I could.
Yeah, definitely.
There we go. Pescara agrees with you, Nick. That Alton meeting was horrific. One of the comments coming in now. Maxine Nichols also agrees with that. That 750 weekend at Alton was like dancing on ice. Unfortunately, it was where her poor MR2 came to a bit of an end. Bless it.
It did.
It's unforgiving around there, isn't it? Unfortunately,
it is. Right at this point, gentlemen, I'm going to come to one of my first guests, and that man is Chris Pratt, the man immediately above Stefan.
Hi guys.
Where do you want to start first, Chris? Are we going to talk about All Square Wrap and Ride? Are we going to talk about the Pirelli Ferrari Classic? Where do you want to go?
Chris, can we just clarify? Is it All Square chassis setup or All Square Wrap and Ride?
I'm glad you asked. So when we started this out nearly 3 years ago, it was a part-time business. I was still working full-time for someone, and it was All Square chassis setup. We saw a bit of a gap in the market for being able to offer a full setup service to club racers and even track day guys or people with classic cars or whatever. So it was All Square chassis setup. That's all it was. And then it kind of grew more than we expected. And then we thought, hang on, this can go full time. But we kind of needed something else to fill the gaps if we had any, if the chassis setup got quiet. So we kind of rebranded a little bit to Wrap and Ride. So we kept the All Square because that's what we were known for. But the Wrap and Ride, so the wrap part is obviously making stickers, doing partial wraps, like on your race car or your van. There's one of the cars we did the ride part on with a setup. So yeah, the wrap part is basically, making your car look nice, the graphics and the stickers. And the ride part is essentially the chassis setup side. But we've added to the ride part, so we now do sales. So down here, I have a prop. So we sell coilovers. So this is one I've got for a Lotus Exige to fit soon from Nitron. We do like KW, Coney, Gaz, Intrax, Nitron. So the ride side now is to make your car handle better, as well as the geometry. We can provide you with suspension items, poly bushes and things like that. So that's where the Wrap and Ride is. It encompasses both parts of the company. One of the newer thing, or not new for me, I've been doing it since 2003, but it's actually getting involved in track support. So the Clio that just come up on the screen a minute ago, that's one that we did our chassis setup service on. The guys were moaning about understeer, so we went out to them, set the car up at their place, and then we did a day's track support. So doing a little bit of driver coaching, not in the way that, say, someone like Tom would, but I sit around the circuit, take photos, video, watch lines, use data to help the guys, especially in a team like yourselves with the KAs. You can compare data between the 2 or 3 drivers. So the 3 of you can go out, 2 of you can go out. And that's what we did with the Clio guys. The 2 of them went out and I watched the lines and I said to one of them, you're using a lot more of the track here. And I said to the other one, if you watch him and do what he's doing, you'll find time there. So the ride part now is massively into track support. And my background, is motorsport from 2003. So British touring cars in 2003, moved up into doing single seaters on the Formula 1 support level in Formula BMW in GP3. And then now I use all of my motorsport experience to help everyone go faster.
Awesome.
So we also
it bloody works as well.
Well, I did the KA, didn't I? After lockdown, you were the first job out of lockdown. Went to SNET, did the KA, did a little bit of driver coaching with you, and the day late, or 2 days later, when Rob was with you, you went and won the 12 hours.
And then we went and won our first ever race.
And you could have won at Alton if it wasn't for the penalty and Steph getting rear-ended. You could have won there too. So,
yeah.
Whoa.
No. Steph didn't get rear-ended.
He did.
There's some minor contact happened in an incident. I think some phrasing we could use.
A racing incident occurred.
And let me get back to the fence. I got off it for a minute.
And at Brands Hatch several weeks later, Stefan repaid the racing incident right back.
Oh,
no! No, he didn't.
The door
was open and he went for a move.
Nick and Stefan aside, give us a bit of name dropping. Who are some of the best drivers you've worked with? Sounds like you got to a pretty good level.
I know one of your ex-teammates. He used to work with my wife, so Simon. So small world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Vic used to work with him, so that's a small world there. In single seaters, my car, we went out to Macau in 2008, so out into Asia, and I was running a Romanian driver there, and we won it, which was bloody mega. That's my first ever win for my car, so that was cool. I ran Lewis Williamson, so I think he was 2010 McLaren Autosport Award winner. Yep. He was in the GP3 car, sponsored by Red Bull. I've run guys like Antonio Felix da Costa, who's the current Formula E champion in test days. Michael Christensen, who's a WEC world champion and Le Mans Porsche winner in the Pink Pig, tested him. He did Macau with us as well. Loads of guys like that. Loads of the single-seater guys. Even had Carlos Nick Holmes, yeah. Had Carlos Sainz Jr. When he got his license. So I was working for BMW Motorsport in Valencia, and this lad called Sainz Jr. turned up to get his license, and I was one of the guys running the cars there. So we had him, Alex Lynn. I think Kvyat was there as well. Some other guys. Yeah, he was there. So yeah, I was there when he was getting his license, running the cars.
Did he kind of start off on the grass and you sort of had to go up to him and go, no, not like how your dad did it? Calm out.
Down the straight.
No, the old man was there. Actually, the old man was there. He's sound. He's a good guy. He's really funny. And he was good for a chat and some stories. But no, actually, to be fair, Junior, he was really good in karts. He came into the single seaters to get his scholarship or to get his license in scholarship, and he was very quick. Very, very quick, and I'm not surprised he's got to where he has now. I mean, since I was there, some of my friends from the GP3 days, Sainz Jr. actually drove after I left the team. He actually drove from a couple of years later, so they've worked with him as well, and they said the same thing. They said he's legit. He's really, really good. So yeah, there's been some names over the years. There's been quite a few names. There's Marsh, Hibbard, and Holmes to add to that list as well now. So. Yeah,
Square Wrap and Ride. You've got a lot of experience there that's going to go into your car. So that sounds like
definitely.
That's it, Tom. But we try to use some common sense when we set them up. I mean, with the KA, with you guys, we actually went the opposite way to how a lot of people set one of those things up to make it more drivable for an endurance race. And it's good being quick over a lap and being pole. But if you're 16th at the end of the race, you can't keep it on the island. That's no point. So
this was the thing actually, and again, part of you having you on here, it was just the fact that the car was so drivable for 12 hours. It was, it wasn't just fast. It was, we have it where the tires would switch off, and it'd get to a point in the race where you knew it was going to start being a handful to drive, but. I don't know, Snetterton, we just didn't have it. It was just as good.
No, that was the idea.
From the start, it was to finish. So
yeah, it's quite obvious watching Matt. I mean, Matt's obviously very capable, and watching him on his practice session, it was kind of like I could see watching the car some ways of making it a little bit easier. So that's what we did, didn't we? And it worked out, and you were nice and consistent and keep going round and round, and you might get a shiny pot at the end of it. So
it's funny because you call that common sense. But it's not actually. I don't think that is common sense. I think that's an engineer's mindset, because that's not the sort of thing I would be able to tweak. So, yeah, again, I think that comes from your experience.
Yeah, cheers, Tom. Yeah, everyone has their own philosophy of how to set up a car. Some people will like it loose and do things, and I can do that for you if you want. But, yeah, my philosophy is exactly as I've described, and it worked for you guys, and it works for some of the others. I mean, coming into the Ferrari series that Rob mentioned, that's what we do with those guys. So this year we're supporting 4 cars in the Pirelli Ferrari Formula Classic. Now, a lot of people won't think that there's one of the pictures from Silverstone last year. So a lot of people won't consider that as club racing, but in actual fact, it's cheaper to run in than a lot of some of the club series you actually talk about on here. I mean, a race meeting's 195 quid, but for that, you get 2 hours of running, 3 races, trophies for every race in 5 different classes. You're either in garages, or the series puts up a massive marquee, so you're all under the marquee, so you haven't got to worry about getting wet or your own gazebo or anything. And it's a really, really well-run series.
And then you need a cam belt change.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the cars are really good. They're 30. I mean, we're running 3 328s and a 308 this year, and they're 35-year-old cars. But everyone in the series is very respectful.
Yeah.
Of their competitors. There's some mega racing. Honestly, it's quite surprising. There's some mega racing, and afterwards everyone gets out and has a laugh about it instead of bickering.
Lovely. Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Well,
yeah.
While we're on the subject of the Ferraris, because it's still one of the first things I remember when I first met you, Chris. Give us the statistics from your cars that you set up. Was it not last year, year before now, I suppose? Because
I mean, yeah, I'll do both the seasons. So in 2019, so that's the first full season I was running the company. Our customers took 17 outright or class wins, and 5 second places. And last year it was 19 outright wins or class wins, 17 seconds and 13 thirds. That was last year. 71 podiums in 2 years.
Yeah.
So you were cheating?
Yeah, basically, yeah, everything, mate. Yeah. Yeah, so no, it's been good, but again, it's using common sense. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's using what they've got and their feedback and trying to help them. So, but yeah, I mean, the Ferraris is quite an important thing for us. And like I say, it's a reasonable club racing. I mean, the calendar, I've got the calendar here. Rob told me to read it out instead of doing one of the pictures he does. So we're supporting the 488 Challenge for 5 rounds at Brands, Donington, Snetterton, Silverstone and Alton Park. And we've got our own standalone at Croft with the Northern Saloons and Alphas. We're at Festival Italia at Brands, I think that's August. And then we're at Spa in October to close the year out. So we've got 8 really good rounds there.
Nice.
So yeah, looking forward to that.
Fantastic. So have the order books filled up despite the lockdown? Yeah,
that's the thing. Everyone looks at their projects and phones me. So we were booked in the middle of Feb as it was. So now I've had to cancel because we've got to respect the lockdown. I can't go door to door at the moment. So I'm doing the setups. So if it finishes in the middle of February as it's intended, I mean, I'll be into March already. So if you do want your setups done, contact me a bit quick because, yeah, it's going to be race season before we know it.
Yeah.
Fantastic, guys.
It's been really busy, guys. Really busy.
Fantastic. Good to see. Right. Just quickly then, let's go back to some comments because Patrick Steele does ask. But other than that, has Chris done anything of note?
He's done the Club Racing UK podcast.
Exactly.
Yes, that's it. This is it now. It's a little cherry on the top.
Yeah, let's face it. As soon as I messaged you, Chris, to say you would be on the podcast, you were like, "That's it, I've done now." He ticked off the last bit on the bucket list.
Yeah, that's all. I'll do this. That's me done.
Exactly. Chris Deere actually asked, "Do you do workshop for setup? Do you have a workshop for setups, or are you all track based?"
No, well, I mean, we're a mobile service, so at the moment we're 100% mobile. So we come to you to do the work. There's guys obviously with workshops and garages. You know, we go to them and use their lifters if they've got them. We are trying to work on getting a workshop, and we kind of have one sorted-ish, and then the chain broke on it at the end of the year. So I'm trying to sort something else. So then we'll be able to offer half a week of mobile going to our customers as we already do, and then we can do half a week if people want to bring their cars to us. And in the winter, because it's obviously quite weather dependent, I can't go using corner weight scales with rain. You know, it just gives people an option. So instead of delaying them or postponing them, they can bring their car to us if they want. But currently, if you book me, I'll be at your place, just setting the car up at yours while you drink tea and watch me in the cold.
Fantastic. That's one thing to note. If you are wondering why Stefan has left our screen, he's back. He's back. Stefan has the bladder of a 3-year-old. Moving on. Damien Hurst comments, Tom Barley, weather at Anglesey in Michelin Clios, super wet test day, dry races.
Yeah, I remember it well. Yeah, I remember it well, mate. Good times.
Fantastic. Jamie Peter Ennis also joins us this evening. Evening, chaps. Apologies for the lateness. Neil Ashcroft. Chris did my setup. It was bloody awesome.
Cheers, Neil.
Can't ask for more than that.
Exactly. Tim Mole comments on the show. Hey, Nick Holmes. And then he puts Nick who?
Hey, Tim. Stop teasing us with pictures of you coming back racing. Come on. Hurry up. Get it done, boy.
He's now just commented, do you use accelerometers? Bloody hell, try saying that when you're pissed. And data acquisition for your track setup work or just driver feedback?
So we've got a Race Logic, recently invested in a Race Logic performance box. So it's like the AIM that you guys use in the KA. So you can put that in the car and download GPS-based data. But a lot of it will be me walking out on the circuit and standing around the circuit, watching what you do. I mean, obviously, if you've got a coach in the car with you, they'll work on your technique and stuff, whereas I can stand there, report back to you, look, mate, you're 3 foot from the edge of the track, you're wasting loads of space. And it's things that you don't even realise you're doing when you're driving. So I can offer a different viewpoint on how you're doing things And then we can also use the data to, check your speeds, and it's GPS based. So check your lines and things like that. So whilst it's not a fully plugged in CAN system to your car, because obviously I see loads and loads of different people, it's still a decent GPS based system to give you some data feedback with like lateral G. It's got all the G forces and all that on there as well, and speeds. So you can do like some really good basic data analysis, the stuff that's convenient and quick at the circuit to make a difference.
I think coaching is really underutilized in club racing. Probably a whole different subject that we haven't got time to go into now, but I think it's massively underutilized. I've always had a driver coach, and you spend X amount of pounds on tyres a weekend, and for the cost of less than a tyre, you could probably shave second off your lap time. So everybody that's listening, get yourself a coach.
Tom, we're all racing drivers. We know what we're doing.
Believe me, there's always someone a lot quicker.
Everyone thinks they're the main man. They don't want someone next to them telling them to do it better, do they?
Well, it depends whether they want to go faster or not. My attitude with that was always, if I can pay you a fairly nominal fee to tell me how to go faster, it's only going to make me look even better, because after qualifying, no one's asking you who your coach is. They're just saying you've done a good job. So get a coach, people. Not me. I'm not going to plug myself. Get a coach.
There we go. Chris Deere actually comments, the fastest bit is the nut behind the steering wheel. Make that bit happy and confident in the setup, and the car will go faster.
Absolutely.
Bums on seats and seat time, I would think. Right, that's all for the comments. So thank you very much for your wonderful words there, Chris. So as you can see, he's not really done much apart from travel the world, all these various very nice series, worked with all sorts of absolute professionals. But apart from that, not much.
Now he's working with us.
He's got Carlos Jr. on the Xbox waiting for him.
There we go. Okay, and with that, Tom, we move on to yourself. So tell us about yourself, what you're up to racing-wise, and tell us a bit about Wired Remote for GoPro.
Thanks very much. Yeah, so my name's Tom. Thanks for having me on the show, and for those of you listening in, it's really good to meet you. And Damien, cheers for the comment. I remember our Clio racing days really well. So I had the absolute pleasure of 11 years of racing up to this year. I've done some really cool stuff. Obviously did my first few seasons in club racing, which I'm still really passionate about now. And I still go to club racing events. I've got some friends that are club racing. A good friend of mine, James Wilson, racing in the Track Day Trophy. Done some coaching with him and always support him. Yeah. Do you know him, Nick?
We know Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, really good friend of mine. I've known him since I was about 5. In fact, my dad and James's dad used to race together. So there's a cool story about teammate.
So I used to race with him in the classic touring cars. So.
Oh, cool, wicked. So I still come along to a lot of clubby stuff. Got a lot of time for it. In fact, it's probably where I had most of my fun racing. Something I think that we all do as drivers is you want to get to the next championship and the next car and the next lap time as fast as you can. And I was really lucky to ride that wave. And do you know what some of my best times were in a 205 GTI at Brands Hatch. I did the same track over and over again when I first started, and I look back on those days with such fond memories. I've been really fortunate, and the Wired Remote for GoPro started for me because I got sick of using GoPro on board, as hopefully all of you guys do, which is why my business survives, because I'd get strapped in, get ready to go, start thinking about the race, and then realise I hadn't turned the camera on. So then I started waving to my wife, like trying to teach her how to use a GoPro. Sometimes it would be on, sometimes it wouldn't. And then actually it started to get more serious because people were getting disqualified from races for not having footage and all this sort of stuff. So I thought there's got to be another way. And I got a bit of a history with electronics and so on. So I made a push button control for my own camera and thought, brilliant, I'm now in control of my GoPro from the driver's seat. maybe I'll sell a few to my friends. And that was 7 or 8 years ago now that I've been making these kits. So if you've got a camera and you're struggling with controlling it with either the crappy Wi-Fi app or getting someone to get in the car and start it for you, then get in touch with us at wired-remote.com. We'd love the opportunity to kit you out or sort something out for you to take those problems away. So yeah, my racing and my business just went really thankfully hand in hand.
Cool. That is good. Handy tool to have. I dread to think how many times I've got about 10 seconds of footage from our GoPro cameras because they were on and then I've turned them off. Or
yeah.
Or you can get, like you say,
something like that.
The best one ever is when someone goes, "Oh, can you I've forgotten my camera. Can you turn it on?" And then you have to do like a crash course on how to turn a GoPro on. For anyone who owns a GoPro, for anyone who owns a GoPro, it's never just press and go.
Yeah, when you're in the collection area and you're harnessed in, you should be thinking about, okay, how am I going to turn the tire on? How am I going to approach the first couple of laps of quali? Or how am I going to plan out turn 1, turn 2 if someone goes up the inside? All these scenarios you should be focused on. Because, especially once you get to a certain level, you're looking for tiny percentages to make the difference between getting a podium and coming 15th. And what I found was that I was there trying to focus on delivering on my goals. And then, as you say, Nick, I'm giving a crash course to someone on how to use a GoPro. And I thought, this is just crazy. We get rid of all of that stress. That's what we do.
Fantastic. Maxine Nichols, I may have got some business for you because Maxine Nichols has commented she needs this setup for ages as she can't reach her GoPros when in the seat, but they don't do one for her Hero 3, but they do now, do they not, Tom?
I won't get too boring on GoPro anorak stuff with you all, but there are multiple versions of the Hero 3, so it could be that you have an incompatible model. But Maxine, drop us a message on the Facebook page, Wide Remote for GoPro. We'll definitely sort something out for you. We'll take your camera in as part exchange and swap it for one that's compatible. Whatever we need to do to get you wide control, we will do. So do drop us a message. We're also doing 20% off at the moment, guys. Worth me noting. So we appreciate there's not a lot of racing going on. People are prepping their cars and so on. So in the cart page on our website, if you use the code LOCKDOWN, you'll get 20% off.
But this is part of your car prep, isn't it? As you say, you conveniently put a push button where you are as a driver, be it if you're making your new switch panel right now, or you've just put some fancy buttons on your steering wheel, Rob? Now's the time to wire in the kit so that all you have to do is put the camera in, plug it in, and then as you sat in the assembly area, press go racing.
That's it, Nick. We often say, when we're trying to be creative with our social media stuff, you wouldn't ask somebody else to turn your fuel pump on for you, or the master switch. Yeah. So why ask someone to turn your GoPro on? You need to be in control of it yourself. And actually, worth noting, make sure you're all checking your regs for next year because some championships are making front and rear facing mandatory. And we can control multiple cameras from one button, so you're in control of all of them. So check your regs.
There we go. Maxine's also commented. She runs 3 cameras.
Yep, all from one button, no problem at all. And then it makes the editing easier as well because they all start at the same time.
Or is that a GoPro 3 Plus?
Say that again.
Is there a GoPro 3 Plus?
There is, there is. So there's a 3 Plus black and a silver. Yeah. So if anyone like Maxine's listening that's interested, just drop us a message. Customer service is our number one thing, so we'll do anything we can to get you kitted out.
I think I might be in contact with Tom.
Yeah, definitely. I should just point out as well, you were very nice, and we did a competition last year with yourself, did we not?
We did.
One of our lucky winners did win one of your kits. So,
John. There's a funny story there, actually.
Yeah, because we upsold him a little bit, didn't we? And then,
we did, yeah.
But he was bigging it up when he got it. He was well happy with it. So if you are listening, John, make sure you put a little accreditation for it as well.
So John won the competition and then decided that he wanted to upgrade to a newer camera, which was great. And then a funny story is I was actually at Brands Hatch that weekend meeting a customer, and I walked past his car and saw him putting it in the car, the kit that he'd won, and he was actually having a bit of trouble getting the camera fitted and stuff. So I knocked on his window and said, "Are you John? I'm Tom from Wired Remote," and I think he thought we'd won like some sort of competition again or something. The guy that he'd won the kit from had turned up to install it for him.
Yeah.
So he actually had a little problem with it, which we sorted there and then to kit him out. But yeah, really, really pleased to work with you guys on that competition last year.
That was good.
I've messaged you. I'd love to do something again this year, help somebody out, get involved with someone. Yeah, I love what you guys do on the Facebook pages. The competitions you do I think they're really unique and fun. So I'd love to get involved and give some stuff away.
There you go. We'll get another one sorted on later on in the year. Definitely.
There we go. Fantastic. And Chris Deere comments as well. Brought one this season. It's so much easier.
Wicked. Thanks for that. That's good feedback. Thank you. Cheers, Chris. Thanks for
There we go. Pescara also comments, GoPros are horribly overly complicated now too. I've had a number of guys accidentally make a time lapse of a 15-minute race.
Yeah, I can assure you that will not happen with our button. Our button is focused on video. So when you push the button on the dash, all it will do is turn the camera on and start it video recording. And when you push it again, it turns it off. So yeah, all of these GoPro problems, that's our goal, is to get rid of those niggles.
There we go. He also says a system like that is definitely worth the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just don't go Hero 7, ain't it?
Look, the GoPro Hero 7 is fantastic if you want to record 10-minute clips. Anything more than that, bloody thing. But no, in all seriousness, though, I know we're still carrying on with the cameras. I would quite gladly downgrade the 7 and get a couple of 3s through you, Tom, because it's certainly not the biggest stress of a race weekend. Don't get me wrong, but when a onboard camera is so important and that thing is being an absolute dick, you just want to bin it. You just want to throw it, literally, lob it onto the straight.
It would probably really surprise you how many people trade their cameras in. So for a long time, I could only make a solution for the Hero 3, and we were getting people with Hero 5s sending us their Hero 5, and then we would give them some money and give them a kit with the Hero 3 because all they wanted was reliability. So that was working really well for a long time, but we were getting more and more feedback that people did want the higher quality that you get now from the newer cameras. So now we cover all the cameras. And we really focus on them being reliable. But yeah, lots of people do that. The Hero 4, for example, 4K video, spot meter, one control. In all honesty, do you need much more than that? Probably not.
No.
There we
go.
go.
Else getting feedback?
I'm getting a little bit of feedback, but I don't know where I'm getting it from because.
No.
Sounds like a TV or something.
Someone got their TV on.
No, it's not. It is us talking.
No.
I don't know.
If you are listening to the audio version of the Club Racing UK podcast, we're just trying to find out about some local issues going on right now. I've still got the feedback, but we'll persevere with it.
Yeah.
We actually have got a clip from the Facebook page just to show how this system works. If we
So that's our Hero 5 black kit. So that's our most popular kit, our most popular camera. You get your GPS data to overlay onto the video and all that kind of stuff with the 5 black and really high quality 4K footage. So that's our most popular kit.
There we go. Fantastic. Jesus, I've never seen Steph up that close before.
To be fair, just again, going back to that kit there and the button, I bet it's actually easier to start it on the button than it is to actually start it on the camera.
It definitely is. I'll stop paying you for this in a minute.
Well, I'm If you could, I need to go racing this year.
It's just trying for sponsorship. That's all it is.
Yeah,
that's it.
Set me up, isn't it?
Please sponsor me. I want to go racing.
I'm letting you go. I'm letting you race going for 2 weekends. It's not that bloody bad.
Well, yeah, this is true.
Don't sound too enthusiastic.
No,
right,
it's not.
Anyway.
That did sound bad. I can't wait to be racing with you, Rob. It's going to be...
Yeah, all right, okay. Neil Ashcroft actually asked Tom, can you run mixed cameras?
There's no short answer to that because it depends which ones you've got. If they're 3s and 4s, yes. If they're 5s and 7s, yes. 7 and 3, for example, no. But again, drop us a message with the specifics and I'll let you know. And if you haven't got the right combination, again, we have all the stuff to kit you out and take what you've got as part exchange.
Fantastic. Jonathan Bevans also commented as well. He gave up with his GoPro in the end. Well, John, I'm sure if you just email Tom, let him know what difficulties you're having, you might be able to find a solution that works for you, mate. I know CMMC is one of those series that do want an onboard camera at all times now, don't they? So I do need to read the regs, actually. Do we need one for TDC, Steph? I think we might need one.
You definitely need a front one. I'm not sure about the rear.
Oh, right, okay. Well, there we go.
Rob, you're going to need 2 front ones.
And why is that, Nicholas?
Because one only on the front of your splitter.
There we go. Fantastic.
I hope when you're racing that you knock that splitter off.
Yeah.
What do you mean hope? It's not a matter of if, it's when.
I hope it's made out of timber and not carbon fibre then.
It's definitely made out of timber.
I would absolutely laugh if it goes into turn 1 at Donington. Nick starts the race and he scoops up the Mini and sticks it in the gravel at Redgate. That would be funny.
Ooh, that sounds like a plan.
Probably would though. They'd probably pick up the back of the car before you even hit me with the bonnet.
Like, the funny thing is, we take the piss out of all this. It's exactly the same measurements as some of the Aero Motorsport Enduro Civics. Exactly the same measurement.
Don't give us that. Don't give us that.
There we go. Chris Mayer does say TDC must have cameras.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna just take a leaf out of Steph's book. Give me a minute.
And if you're listening to our audio version right now, Nick's gone for a wee.
He's actually quitted out.
Yeah, he's quitted out. I can't believe it. But yeah, we've had it confirmed. TDC must have camera. I have got a camera, but it's like an iZone. It's an ion camera, iZone. It's okay. It's got it's a weird bullet-shaped camera. It's a bullet-shaped camera. Fit and forget. Slide the button forward. But I do want something like a GoPro, and the system that you got, Tom. It's tempting. So I might have a chat with you after this podcast.
Yeah, please do, mate.
Right. Following, Shine Automotive joins us. It's 9:05, Shine.
Evening.
Evening, guys. Right, from that, we move on. He's been waiting patiently, Nick. How are you doing this evening?
Very well. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. If you can step a bit closer to the mic, you're a bit quiet this evening.
Oh, sorry. Try again, shall we?
Try again. Right, okay. Yeah, a bit better there. Okay, so tell us about Roxit.
So basically, with my work, I do a lot of travelling. So I work on automotive events, got to have lots of stuff and move about a lot and all that kind of thing. So with my dad, we looked at doing some different things, finding some bits and pieces, and it was all really, really expensive.
If you can, mate, get a bit closer to the mic. You're struggling a bit.
Helmet bag was 50 odd quid, 60 quid. So we ended up looking at doing our own. And what we did, we bought in some helmet bags, which we've been selling, doing custom ones and all that sort of thing. And just taking it from there, really.
Okay, and so you started with the helmet bags at the moment. So is there a plan to expand or just get out on you doing more sort of kit stuff for racing and stuff? Or?
So we've got the helmet bags. That's where we're starting because I was carrying my helmet and doing lots of things. I want to keep it safe. There's a lot of money invested in helmets and 600-700 quid helmets sometimes. So we got them and then we're expanding to kit bags so I can take all the bits and the overalls and your boots and your gloves and everything with us, and all sorts of different stuff, and looking at hard cases, trying to get something decent for the club racers so that they can take their bits around, keep everything safe and look after their stuff. But it's not the sort of thing you want to spend lots of money on. You know, you don't want to be spending £100 on a kit bag when you buy, you know, tyres or buy some fuel or some race entries or something. But you want to keep your stuff safe, a decent quality bag. That's what really we're looking to do.
There we go. And I see as well, if we just put some photos up at the moment, you're starting to branch out into the customised helmet bag. So we've got an example there. Yeah,
that's been made for a motorcycle racer. Basically, we took his logo and took the inspiration from what he was doing. That's his personal racing logo. That's his brand. And he wanted that on a helmet bag. So we took that, we did that, we sorted all that out for him. And sent that on to him. So now going forward, he's got that. So his branding is strong, and his kind of personal brand is carrying through, and he can do that for you, for sponsors and all sorts of things. So that in everything that you do in your racing, you're presenting yourself, even though it is club racing, it's still presenting yourself in the right way, so that you have that look and that image that you kind of look professional. Everybody's always looking for that sponsor, that kind of additional way to go. Additional way to kind of make it more affordable. You can add that onto your bags and your luggage and take it from there, so that they get that extra bonus. It's not just on the race car, it's in your luggage, so people see the travelling and all those kind of things as well.
Love it. So that's definitely a good present idea and stuff. If anyone's watching thinking they don't know what they want for their birthday, that's the sort of thing I'd want, is my helmet bag customised. I think that's wicked.
Yeah, should definitely get one with that logo on it.
Yeah, that one up.
I like that one.
One of my friends told me once that the best way to look like a professional racing driver is get your name on everything. So I think you're tapping into that market. I like it.
That's fair. Yeah, that's good.
Everybody loves seeing their name on everything, don't they?
Do you know what, though? Actually, I know you say that it's club racing, maybe it doesn't matter that much, but I actually think a lot of it is mindset. And I think, you know, if you're in the back of your van or whatever and you're getting ready for a race, it doesn't matter so much that it's club racing. You're going racing. And at that moment, you are, well, this is how I felt anyway. I was so focused and so passionate that actually, like, the process of getting ready and getting my kit on and all that sort of stuff and lacing up your boots, you know, you feel like Cole Trickle from Days of Thunder. And little things like having the equipment personalised and stuff, you know, you start to feel more serious, and then you get in the car and actually you take it more seriously. So I'm a big believer in that.
It's such a big part of all of our lives. It's such a big investment, time and money and all those things. But you want your stuff to look as good as it can. You know, everybody, like you're saying, you want to get up the ranks as you can. Everybody wants to be a single season driver, an F1 driver, touring car driver, GT world endurance driver. To have that option available at a reasonable price for the club driver that makes every aspect of what you do look more like the very top end is got to be a good for these guys, because you look at it, you customise your helmet, you customise your race suit, you customise your car with liveries and stickers, and you know, why don't you just put your helmet and all of your bits in a bag? Why don't you just put it in a kit bag?
Just hide it away, it's a bog standard bag, nothing on it. That's it.
Yeah, it's a smelly old sports bag. We'll just lob all of this, you know, thousands of pounds worth of kit and investment and safety gear into a smelly old kit bag. No, it's not what you want to do. You want to put it in something that is proper. You know, it reflects who you are and what you do and how you do it. Just the same way when you put your races in.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, get the birthday presents booked in.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. So if we are looking for any sort of personalised kit, where should we head to, Nick?
So at the minute we run everything. The sale itself is through Amazon. So we've got a discount on the minute where we've got £5 off because January and nobody's got the money. So they put the helmet bags themselves £25 at the minute, and that's our Amazon store. So if you just search rock it helmet bag, that will come up on Amazon. But if you want something custom, find us on social media. We're on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Message me through any of those and we'll work through custom options. I'll literally just take whatever image you want. We've got a graphics guy who does everything, redraws everything, sorts everything out, and then we print on whatever helmet bag you want, or we say we've got a bigger kit that's coming in a couple of months, and we can put things on there, and we can also look in wear as well. We've got a few people, since we've done the logos and we've printed it once and got it right, have said, right, let's do a few other things, so we can look at options for things like teamwear and stuff like that as well.
Fantastic, good to see you. So yeah, get yourself onto the social media side of.
What we will do as well. I was just going to say what we will do after this. We'll put links to everybody's page and websites and groups and stuff. So for anyone who didn't quite catch anything or what have you, we'll get all the information up for everyone as well.
There we go. Took the words out of my mouth. So there we go. Thank you very much.
Put them back in your mouth.
Oh, right, okay, I'll put them back. Let's go, it's fine. Nick's done it for me. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us, Nick. That's fantastic. So, guys, now we're all together. Albeit recent events is a little bit down and depressing for anyone, so I wanted to put a positive side on things. So, let's talk about what are we looking forward to the most from this club racing season. Now, I have asked the chaps to put some ideas together. I put some in the script as well. So, who should we start with? Stefan's looking pensive.
My column's looking blank on the script, Nick, Rob.
Have you not wrote your own ideas down?
No.
Oh, for God's sake, you can't get the fucking stuff. Anyway.
I'm looking forward to going racing, Rob. I must admit. I mean, what else is there, to be honest?
As part of an organisation at Club Racing UK that looks at UK club motorsport, is there not anything that you've sort of been observing that's caught your eye that you want to look at for 2021?
Racing.
No.
All racing. Everything that involves a car and motorsport on there.
Fantastic. Okay, with that, let's move on to Nick Holmes, the bearded wonder. What are you looking forward to?
Well,
I do see here you are looking forward to brum brum noises.
Yes, you asked me the other day what I'm looking forward to for the season, and I put brum brum noises. Much the same as Steph. I mean, the good thing is although we've been doing this a little while now, and we've been around, and I'm sure the other guys here will understand as well, we've been in the racing scene for a little while now, but it's still, for me, still the excitement of meeting with your friends at a race weekend, going door to door and then getting out at the end of it and having a good old barbecue. Something like, I want to see that again. I'm sick of hiding in a garage with a face mask on, or having to socially distance in a van with my bubble. I want to be able to jump on someone and beat them up for a laugh, race around with them on the track, and then have a burger and a beer afterwards. But no, there's lots of other exciting series. I'm really looking forward to seeing pack grids again. For me, actually, I'm looking forward to seeing the AAs on their brand new suspension and Toyo tyres. That I'm looking forward to. And I'm also looking forward to the boys taking on the TDC in their Mini.
Fantastic.
And Rob. Sorry, yeah, I'm racing with Rob, obviously.
To be fair, we're also looking forward to the growth of Club Racing UK. It's been, to be fair, pretty difficult with the whole COVID thing last year to kind of keep it growing and keep it progressing. We've not been able to go to races and all the rest of it, and predominantly being all over social media, not been able to do what we planned to go to. We was in contact with event organisers to go to British Touring Cars, to British GT, have stands there and sort of promote club racing and get people excited about it and get people in it. And we wasn't able to do any of it. So hopefully, if resolve itself with the whole COVID thing, we can actually start getting some of them plans in place and really pushing it forward. Yeah. So the whole thing was designed to help the club racer out, help with their exposure, with all the competitions and all the partners and businesses we get on board to help people with discounts and giving stuff away. And that's what it's all about. That's what we're trying to do, and hopefully we just keep growing that. And the more we can get out of it, the better.
The good news is those people haven't gone anywhere, so they're going to be as eager as ever, or more eager than ever. So that's the positive. You guys are doing that. Obviously, I'm new coming into this with you. I've known about you guys for a little while, but I was club racing for many years, and there wasn't anything like this. So I think you guys deserve a lot of credit for putting stuff like this together, because it does make a difference. So yeah.
Thanks, Tom. I'm not going to start paying you back for that.
Where were you then?
Now, Motorsport UK.
Instagram was around here,
What? Sorry, Chris. What did you say there, mate?
I say Motorsport UK could really get on a bandwagon with you guys, because let's face it, if there's no club racing, there's no next, future touring car champion in the future. I think Colin Turkington raced Fiestas, didn't he? That's club racing. So without
Sutton race Formula V.
There you go. So without you three guys and with the podcast as well, putting it all out there, if there's no new blood, there's no new champion. So I really think, the show should make an effort with you guys. Motorsport UK could really use you guys. You're a massive asset to the sport and to the guys starting out and not so starting out. Years.
Oh,
so,
I'm blushing.
On this show,
no, it really is.
No,
really is. Cool.
Sorry, to cut in a bit there, Chris. To be fair, one of the guys, one of the organisations we had something lined up to work with was actually Motorsport UK. We were going off to do a show with them, but unfortunately, the dreaded C happened, and it got squashed. Though it will happen. It will happen. But
it's not like they've got to start it all from scratch. You're already well up and running with it. So get on the bandwagon and keep it going, and a bit of promotion. And it's a massive way of getting grassroots and not so grassroots racing out there to the country, to the UK. Keep it going.
Nice one.
Yeah, great.
There we go. And following along from that, Chris, what are you looking forward to in 2021?
I'm looking forward, just like everyone else, to getting back to the tracks. I mean, there's nothing beats driving into the circuit first thing in the morning, full of optimism, and especially if it's not raining, Tom. It's grim, isn't it? If it's a lovely day, you rock up looking forward to what's going to happen, and it's just, it's what we do, isn't it? I'm looking forward to just that feeling, getting back into the circuit again, seeing everyone, hopefully helping people improve themselves and their cars, and just coming away enjoying myself and enjoying the day with other people. That'd be good.
It's a unique feeling, isn't it? The whole turning up at the track, and
Brilliant.
I used to describe it as a circus that moved around together from place to place, because everyone knows each other, and it's just such a crazy day, isn't it? When you, as you say, you're so excited, you're a bit apprehensive, and then, as you say, Nick, at the end of the day, when you crack a beer open and you're talking about, a corner or a move or something, it's just such a weird set of emotions for one day.
Yeah.
Well, us mechanics hold corners.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Every series should have,
we'll clean up. Yeah.
Every series should have races on a Saturday and then throw on a barbecue that night, so everyone can just hang out, have a chat about what happened, have a few beers, camp, and then go on the next day. I think.
Yeah, that's what I loved about the not to plug a championship too much, but the Brit Car Endurance Championship. They have such a good format because they crack it all into one day, and you're basically in the car from 9 in the morning till about 6 at night, and then that's it. There's no Sunday. So after the race Saturday night, you can go for a dinner. You can have a couple of beers or whatever. It's such a good format. Big fan of that. So the social side of it was a big part for me.
Yeah, definitely.
This is it. See, one of my fondest memories actually was when I first started getting into club racing. Was hanging with the classic touring car lot, and we were at Silverstone. I think it's probably where I first met you, really, wasn't it, Rob? We'd spoken, but it's the first time we had a proper meet-up. But they put on that massive barbecue down in the international pit.
Your first weekend in the Vectra, it was soaking wet on the Saturday, and we're all soaking wet. You'd been out in the car, and we went and had a hot dog and a chinwag. I was catching up with some old friends, and everyone was asking how your day went.
That's it. And we were all just in the garages, terrible, cheap Powerade drink, pound burger, whatever, but it doesn't matter. You 40, 50, 60 of you that have all been racing whatever series it was. It didn't matter if you were, in a classic Mustang or, a single seater. You're all just together. You're all there for the love of motorsport. And that's what I'm looking forward to this year, is getting back to something like that.
Yeah.
And there we go. So not to be too cliche about it, Tom, what are you most looking forward to in 2021?
So from a club aspect, I'm looking forward to supporting my buddy James that we talked about. He's doing the Track Day Trophy and some Classic Sports Car Club stuff in the Tin Tops. So I go to some of his races. That's always fun. And I think I don't know how much you guys follow this or the audience, but from a slightly non-club level, I loved watching Harry King in the Porsches last year.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know what they're doing this year. But if anybody hasn't seen it, watch some Porsche Carrera Cup races from last year if you want to see an example of somebody with car control making everybody else, I'm sorry, look a bit amateur. Because, wow. I mean, seriously, some races were phenomenal.
I'm glad you said that one, Tom, because don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for a Porsche race car. If anyone's got one that wants me to drive it, get in touch. But I haven't watched the Carrera Cup in donkey's years because it's a yawn fest. With, not being rude to anyone who's taking part in it or anything like that, but as part of the BTCC package, when you're watching door-to-door British touring cars and you watch the Clio Cup or now Minis, it's exciting. And then you've got the 30 laps of the Carrera Cup. I think, to be honest, I use that as my snooze time. But there's something about Harry King. I was glued. I could not put it down.
It was the way you could see that he was manipulating the car completely differently to all the other cars. It was almost like cocking the front wheel as he was going through the fast corners. I raced against him. He's phenomenal, isn't he? I raced against him in the Netta Super Cup. And I never got near him. I mean, I say I raced against him. I think I saw him in quali a few times. So to see him go on to that, exactly, and be so dominant. I'm excited for where that leads to because I actually don't know what club stuff he may or may not have done. Maybe he didn't, but does he go to the Super Cup on the Formula One grid? Does he go to Le Mans? I don't know where that goes, but I'm interested in that journey. But I'll still be at a lot of club stuff as well.
If I was a betting man, maybe with the time with Porsche now, he might be heading up their new hypercar when the new cars come out. Maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You never know.
He's definitely going places. That lad.
It happened. It did happen with a certain N Tandy, and look where that ended up. So watch this space.
Yeah, and that's where it's going to get really interesting because he's made the Porsche Carrera Cup grid unfortunately look a little bit amateur. Again, sorry to people like Josh Webster to say that, but that's how it looked.
And I mean, you say that that's the next champion.
I know, and he is he is a quicker racing driver than me. I say that with the greatest of respect available, but where does Harry sit next to Kevin Estra, Nick Tandy, people like that, at the real top of their Porsche game? That's when we're going to
Dan Camish.
Yeah, Dan Camish. Who knows? I guess we won't know that one now, unfortunately. But once you get into the proper pro Porsche world, is he as good as them? That's going to be interesting. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Well, you know what we'll do? Steph, next time we're on the podium with Nick Tandy, because obviously we've been there before. We'll ask.
We'll ask him.
Yeah.
He was very chatty backstage before, wasn't he, Nick?
I'll mate Nick, yeah.
Yeah, I'll mate Nick,
See, Chris, it's not just you that know people.
What they don't tell you is they saw the three likely lads walk in and thought, lads, toilets are downstairs.
And then cleaning.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you got this scruffy arsehole up there, definitely.
Exactly. Right, Mr. Underwood, what are you looking forward to the most in 2021?
First of all, is that microphone better?
Yes.
Yes.
Loads better.
Good. I know there's been the touring car package, but the entry Mini Coopers, the 1.6 Coopers, I think some of the best one make tin top racing you can see anywhere.
I'm going to kind of touch on that as well in a second.
They're cheap to buy-ish, relatively cheap to run, skinny old tyres, 1.6, quite basic engines and boxes, very tightly maintained, but the racing, like you saw at Thruxton and a few other places, is absolutely top-notch. And you've really, like saying about the Porsches, you've really got to be on the edge of it and manipulating it to get it to do anything, especially with it being lower powered, only 110 whatever brake. You've really got to carry that momentum and carry that speed, and really be on the edge of it and in control to push it on. And I think they're probably one of the ones to watch. That's if and when I can get racing again, that's the kind of thing I'd like to do. And also it gives you that progression into the kind of top echelons of tin top racing. There is progression into the Cooper S's, into the kind of support package, and then on to actual, big boy touring cars.
Yeah, it's a good. It's almost the perfect ladder. We've said it before on this show, and it's something we really want to put together. Obviously, it's not something that me and Steph can manage, but to get that progressive perfect ladder, you start off in the lower class, and then next one. The minis have got it. They've got it right, and for now to be on the TOCA package.
Yeah.
Granted, I know it up to the budget quite substantially, but
it gives them that exposure that you can then go to people and say, right, this is a legitimate sponsorship opportunity, because you've got that television coverage. You can't, with respect, do that with a lot of other series at a cost, because you don't have that television exposure. If I was looking at it from the business point of view, I would much rather go with the mini driver, because they're going to have that 1 weekend a year on the touring car package than maybe a full season with somebody else, because that 1 weekend is going to give you so much more in terms of exposure from that.
Well, there you go. There you go, everyone. If you are racing in the mini championship, regardless of what area you are on that ladder, you need a Rocked-It helmet to look the part for when you are British touring car driver.
You certainly do. They'll laugh at you if you don't without your name on it.
Jamie Moore's actually commented into the show, the progressive side is something we aim for with our cars. Now, knowing the Moore's Motors lads through the KAs, they do have an impressive range of cars that they do arrive and drives with. And again, it's they have built themselves up a ladder. So he's just put here from KAs to the Fiesta to Mini Coopers, and then up to the big boys, the Super Copers, the Golfs, and the S3s in the MSV Super Cup. So there are ladders out there. I mean, you say about the Mini Cooper Challenge. I'll talk about the Racers Lounge as it's been called in a second. But there's one chap I've got to know over the past 8 months, and that's Alex Neville, who races with Graves Motorsport in that championship. One of the nicest guys you could talk to. Really nice lad, knows his stuff, fantastic driver. And he was part of that gaggle in that famous race at Thruxton earlier this year that tried to put 300 cars through one corner.
I wasn't far off.
It is one of the closest championships he's ever raced in. It looks like potentially he's progressing. I certainly, I certainly would rate him as a driver, and I would love to see him in the British Touring Cars one day. He's certainly got the talent to go there. And it also shows as well, he started in the Cooper amateur class. He went up to pros. He's raced on the TOCA package this year. And he's shown, racing up against the likes of Ben Kasperzak and that you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so watch this space. And racing along the likes of, Bradley Gravitt, Rob Gravitt's son. Real top drivers.
Proper names. There's some proper names in there, that's for sure.
Exactly. And the sponsor side as well. When you've got a company like Morris Lubricants sponsoring a car in there, they mean business.
Yeah.
I
won't lie. It's no secret that I like a one make series. I mean, if I could ever get that there, maybe Nick, maybe me and you can set up a team together.
Sure.
We'll go there. Yeah, let's do it. You're paying.
I highly rate the one make series route. I took me a while to get into one make series, and the thing I found was I always had loads of excuses available when it wasn't one make. And as soon as I went one make, and probably the Clio Cup cars were the ultimate of that, you realise actually they're just pushing harder, they're trying harder, they're more committed, and that pushes you on. Because if you see somebody go through Barcroft at Croft completely flat with no lift, and you don't think it's possible, well, you've just found out it is. So either do it or stop racing, basically. So it's definitely a really good route to go down at some point, one make.
There we go. Fantastic. Personally, my choices of looking forward to in 2021, well, first of all, is actually growing and progressing with this podcast. My little project where the plan is as well, like we mentioned last year, we're going to try and go and see some rather famous names. We've also got some names lined up in the background, including a former British touring car champion, which we'll hopefully reveal quite soon. Which when COVID permits, I can actually go and visit them and sit down with a bunch of microphones and not 3 million miles away over a bloody Zoom call or anything like that, and actually, put together a nice, decent interview when we can hear the stories of years gone by. We're also obviously going to be carrying on here. We're going to be bringing the relevant people of club racing to you. Racing side, club endurance racing, and I don't mean the KAs and the C1s. We've already seen how fantastic they've gone, but the likes of club enduro, road sports. Again, Steph, we're racing in one of those championships this year, TDC. There's a reason that I gravitated towards it. With the power to weight ratio class system in place, you get more bang for your buck, and I want to see more of it this year. Britcar has already got fully subscribed grids.
Huge, yeah.
And it would actually be good to race my Focus properly after 3 years being out. So that's something I'm looking forward to, spending lots of money and breaking things. Mainly timber.
Yeah. Spending most of your time in B&Q.
Spending most of my time. Actually saying that, B&Q don't do buffalo board anymore, I realised the other day. Bastards.
Probably because you've used it all up.
It's because I've used it all up. That's it. There's some geezer in a forestry like, where the fuck's this all going? Anyway, it's past 9 o'clock. Don't worry, lads. Anyway, the last thing I do actually want to mention, the one thing that lockdown gave me is a chance to do a bit of esports. And by that, I stick the Xbox on and I muck about online. That's how I got to know the likes of Alex Neville, Graham Crowhurst, who races in the BMW CCR Championship, potentially racing elsewhere this year. Sam Pearce, who we watched dominate the Track Day Championship round at Brands Hatch while racing for the first time. He dominated. He's building a car for Civic Cup this year that has 40 cars already registered for it. It's got a new package on the Time Attack calendar, so we'll see how that goes. We've also got, again, Alex Neville in the Mini Challenge. We've got student drivers like Ed Whitehouse, who's looking to get into racing for the first time. So it's stories that you hear around the paddock, and it's going to be fantastic to potentially get people on here, tell us about their stories, about why they're going club racing, where they're going club racing, and why they do it.
Yep, definitely.
Brilliant. Good selection.
Yeah. Very good.
So it's interesting when someone turns up and dominates on their first weekend of racing.
It was impressive to watch.
It was impressive. I'm going to say it because I like the guy and I have a biased opinion, but that was such a mature drive. It was bloody good to watch. And I know for a fact that he worked his backside off behind the scenes to get that car built for himself, as well as doing work for other people and going and working 9-hour shifts, sometimes late shifts. He would leave his place of work at silly o'clock and go to the workshop and work on his car and work on other people's car. He's relentless. So to see that happen at Brands was pretty damn good for him.
Definitely.
And to be honest, like you guys, I just want to see a racetrack again. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
Right on, boys, girls.
I miss it. I do miss it. Okay, let's move it on. We've got some competitions coming up, Stefan.
Yes, we have. I like how it all comes on me now, the competitions.
Well, yeah, but you've got the sexy you got the sexy competition voice, so.
Anyway, yes.
Well, live for you on the Club Racing UK podcast, we have competitions.
I'm sure in the background, Ian's trying to rummage for the pitcher's butt, or he's fallen asleep, one or the other. But oh, there it is. So we're giving away 300 quid off your 2021 race entry fee. When do we? I think it's going to end of March.
End of March.
Yeah, so it'd be we'll get a date closer to the time, but it'd be the podcast closest to the end of March. We'll release who the winner is, and then then we're just 300 quid off your race entry fee. So
we're going to have to do a live draw on that. I think.
Oh yeah, roughly.
Yeah,
but
we'll do a live draw.
Become a member on our website, which is just go there.
What result for someone that'll be?
Maybe.
Yeah, go down there. Club Racing UK.
Go there, become a member. £2 a month or 20 quid a year. Cheaper than a coffee. $1 a month. I mean, come on.
Cheaper than a coffee, and you could win.
Win 300 quid.
300 quid's a pretty good dent in a race series, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, most races it's probably a free race, isn't it? So.
Yeah, not far off.
Almost. Right, just back before we talk about the ambassador program, I just want to clear off some more comments. Patrick Seal puts Andrew Jordan in comments. Yeah, is that in terms of watching what he does this year? I think he's going back to touring cars personally, but there's 2 lovely Toyotas sat ready for him.
I don't think he will.
You don't think he will?
No.
I
don't think he's back. I don't think he's back this year.
Okay, no problem. Should we move on?
Moving on.
Next comment.
Right, Maxine Nichols, where and what are you guys going to be racing for your first rounds? Tom, are you racing this year?
I am not. No, I have. This is so weird coming on a Club Racing UK podcast and telling you that I've basically retired from my racing activities. I'm sure you don't want the long, boring story as to why I've decided to do that, but 11 years. I found myself in the 11th year slightly lacking some of that passion that we've been so enthusiastic about tonight, although this podcast has actually started to turn me back the other way a little bit.
Yes!
Come on. The problem is I took it so seriously for so long that actually it wasn't that fun for me anymore. It started to become really serious. It wasn't about the enjoyment of driving a cool car on a great track against people I knew. It became much more like a business with people who were trying to become, professional racing drivers. And I really started to lose a lot of love for it. That coupled with I had an accident at the first round last year and broke my arm, which was a little bit of a dent in the season. I just started to feel like I was moving away from it a little. So no, nothing for me, although I will still be trackside.
Okay, nice. So basically, I'm going to translate from that. Tom's going to take a year out, realise how fun club racing is, and get back in next year.
Well, that is not out of the question for sure, especially with people like James chewing my ear off. That's not out of the question. I can honestly say that club racing was, really where I had a lot of my fun. And actually, I think you can chase the car and all that sort of stuff that you think you want to end up racing, and it might not be as fun as you first thought.
You'll have to have a go. You come and have a go in RKA.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd really like to do the KA stuff. One of my mates, Howard Fuller, I don't know if you know him. He's done some of that, the KA stuff, and good pals with him. And he was telling me to come along and do it. Yeah, I'm definitely not against those kind of things.
Good, man. Right, we'll sort something out then.
There we go. Okay, Chris Moen, what is your thoughts on the Civic Cup One Make Series? Stuart Lyne seems to have done something special with the 20-plus entries. Well, to be fair, I get my information from various people, but if the Civic Cup, when it was supporting TCR, was starting to struggle a bit, let's be honest. It seems that they've revised the regs. I've had a quick look at the regs that they've put out for this year. They've got a production sort of class in there, and it looks pretty good. As a one-make championship, if you've got the cash to do it, it would be a good feeder series. And if they're doing it at the modified shows, you're going to have the crowds that turn up there. A lot of them, let's be honest, are going to be in EP3s with exhausts the size of dustbins on it. So it works out there. You're going to have people watching it. So it's good all round. So we might be onto a blinder there.
There's no denying that Civic EP3 is a weapon. They are very well sorted cars. There is no denying that.
It's the topic that some actually got written in the script for another podcast. Is what is ideally the car to have. So we will discuss this on another podcast, I feel.
Yeah.
So Maxine Nichols asked, where and what are you guys going to be racing for your first round? Are you doing any racing this year, Nick Underwood?
Currently not, but we'll see how we go. Never say never.
It's on the Nick Holmes flag right there.
Yeah,
never say never.
That's from the school of Nick Holmes. Nick Holmes, are you doing any racing this year?
Yes, I am. I am going to be racing with you, Rob, in your Ford Focus.
Fantastic. Stefan, are you doing any racing this year?
I haven't finished yet. I will hopefully be with the boys for the 12-hour endurance as well, and I'm going to try my hardest and get into the IndyCar 500 as well. We will see where Mr. Holmes's budget is for the year.
Oh dear.
Well, what I should say is I'm going to be racing in about 4 different championships and winning all of them, blah, 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 with all the money that I don't have. But it's not. I'm just being honest with you guys. I think a couple of races this year is probably what I'll manage.
Fair enough. Stefan Marsh, what are you racing this year?
KA and the Mini.
Right. First round is when?
I think it's April 10th in the Mini at Donington. I think it's April 10th or 11th. Yeah. Somewhere around there. So the Mini first, and then 2 weeks later, back up there again in the KA.
Fantastic.
Actually, it's quite a hectic season for us with the KA and the Mini. I think there's some got a few back-to-back weekend races, which is going to be quite.
When you sent me the calendar, I was like, "Hey, that's like an F1 season. It's like 25 rounds and nuts."
Now, isn't it?
Yeah. First one's in China.
I think it was.
Yeah. Nürburgring, going for it all.
Yeah, make sure you got your Brexit paperwork sorted, Stefan.
Yeah.
Don't mention that B word.
Oh, no.
Don't mention that B word. Okay, Chris, what are your plans? Are you doing any racing this year, or is it just strictly on the business?
Strictly supporting people. See, I think our first race is brands supporting the 488s with the classic Ferraris, helping out these guys when I can, and I might be doing some spannering. Is it like the club and prototype championship? I've been asked to do a few bits there when weekends allow, so I might be assisting there with one of the teams. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, the first plan one is brands in May anyway.
Fantastic. For myself, it was due to be the TDC round in April. I am currently having my arm twisted about doing the first round at Silverstone in the modified Fords. Depends if Phil gets his car ready.
You can't enter a championship and miss the first round.
What? Well, no. What I'm saying, Stefan, is the mod Fords round at Silverstone is before TDC.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's in late March on the Silverstone International Circuit. So I've had a few messages yesterday, but if Phil's doing a few bits to his car, if he doesn't get his ready, I've told him he's borrowing mine. So if his car does make it, he's just having some maps and tweaks and that done. He's fit the throttle bodies and that and everything. So all being well, he'll be on the grid in his car. If not, he'll be borrowing mine. So I might sneak in for a race.
Nice.
There we go. Well, it beats testing. My bloody track day got cancelled. Anyway, COVID.
Currently.
Yours hasn't currently. Oh, yeah, you're late February, aren't you?
Yeah,
Are you doing the one of brands?
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Fantastic.
I'll see you there. We can only hope.
Yeah.
There we go. Chris Moen, what does a fun championship like the Mini 7, which featured on and Toke around last year with AJ, very close racing? Yeah, it is fantastic club racing. Vicky Pratt, Chris, we need to get that car out for a hoon.
Oh, I've nearly finished it. Yeah, I've got a Rotax, got a Senior Max. I've nearly finished. I've just got to bolt the seat in, set the pedals up, and get some new rubber for it. So that might make a appearance this year, but depends how much Steph needs me for supporting their racing. So blame Steph if it doesn't get used. Again.
Love it.
Great way to freshen up before the first round is to get out of the Rotax for sure.
It's a killer. You do like 5 laps if you've not used it for a year, and you've got to stop. It's
and it,
do you know what?
Just wakens all your senses up, doesn't it? It's such an experience.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
You know
they are absolutely ridiculous.
Before I got into club racing, right, I went up to our local kart track, Clay Pigeon Racing, raceway up Dorchester way, and I had a go in one of those. I have never been so scared in all my life. And like you say, after about 5-6 laps, I got out and I couldn't feel my thumbs. My thumbs were completely cramped up and were like just locked into my hand.
Yeah. I love the way everyone says you've got to hold the steering wheel nice and light to feel how a car and car feel on track. Oh look, you've got to hold on for dear life because otherwise you
are literally a passenger.
Always when the power kicks in mid corner and it just tries to spit you off instead of wake you up.
Ridiculous things.
Yeah, so it might make an appearance. We'll see how things go.
There we go. I've just realised we are running quite a bit for time. An hour and 45 minutes tonight, gents.
Yeah,
it'll be a long one.
That's going to be a long one. But Nick,
if you are still with us in the audio here,
to be fair, there's still quite a few people listening. Nick put up a post probably about a week ago now, and it was probably the most important message you could get out this month. So over to Nick Holmes.
Oh well, put me on the bloody spot there, Rob. Are we talking about our little this one?
We are. If we could just show the picture, guys.
Yeah, did we put it onto the script? Yeah. I first of all, I'm not going to take credit for this. I saw the Mission Motorsport guys put this up, but I figured it was quite poignant because obviously, with the world being how it is right now, things are shit. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to quite happily put my hand up here, boys and girls, and anyone else who's listening. And I'm going to say I'm pretty much in between the orange and red on a regular basis at the moment. Not working with my friends, locked in, homeschooling, mega stressful. I am not a teacher. But I'm not feeling myself. If anyone who does know me knows me, I'm a happy, bouncy, bubbly type of guy normally, but this has kicked me in the balls, quite frankly. But all I wanted to put out really was to, as a community, is we need to look out for each other. I'm certainly saying I'm not a counsellor or anything like that, and as I say, going through my own shit as well. But if you know anyone who's you haven't spoken to for a little while, or just drop a message to someone, say hey to your mates, just see what you can do. It's not an easy time right now in any way, shape or form. For whatever reason, there's, some people could be thriving right now, others aren't. That's the reason I put it up, was just to say you're not the only ones out there if you are struggling.
Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. If you're in club racing, you're going to be from all sorts of different backgrounds. But
100%.
It's your family.
Exactly. We're still a family. Yeah, we've got to look after each other.
Get those WhatsApp groups fired up and chat to each other. Yeah. Start dreaming about the happier days that are coming. Get the old photos circulating, the podium pictures, the gravel track pictures. Those days are coming back.
The thing was, it was the fact that, we were going to have a break with, the podcast. We were going to bring it back in February time, to be able to put some content and things like that together. But in actual fact, there's quite a few people that do join in on this. There's a lot of people that join in on this, be it listening to it, watching it, whatever. So we just figured if this helps people take their mind off stuff for a while, life is shit at the moment. It really is. But just got to try and keep your head above water where you can.
Love to the world, eh?
This is it.
Exactly.
This
so, and if you feel you can't talk to any friends, we'll try and get some numbers up for the likes of Samaritans. So if you do need to speak to someone and get some help, we can certainly put some support up.
Yeah, definitely.
So yes, on that note, it's been a hectic start to 2021. And already we've got the first podcast out of the way. Thank you to our 3 magnificent guests this evening. Stefan?
Cheers, Rob. Cheers, guys.
You missed the ambassador bit.
Oh,
I did miss the ambassador bit. Okay, Steph, take it away.
Oh, no, I'm not doing it. You're the host.
Oh, I'm the host. Okay.
I'm just
probably one of the most crucial parts that we've got going at the moment. And you've left it. We've done an hour and 50 minutes. Everyone's gone to bed. And now you're going to mention the ambassador program.
And now I'm going to mention the ambassador program. Well, I know for a fact, because Nick keeps telling me, lots of people have already applied for the ambassador program. It's run by Club Racing UK. All you need to do is sign up as a Club Racing UK member on the website and send them a short bio about yourselves, your 2021 plans, and why you would like their support. Nick and Steph are going to pick 3 drivers before the race season gets underway, and they're working alongside the partners for the year. They will be supporting you throughout your racing season.
This is it.
So, to apply for the ambassador program, send your bio to
clubracinguk@outlook.com. Yeah.
So just sign yourself up as a member as well. It doesn't look. We're just to put it out there. We're not looking for, seasoned veterans. We're not looking for race winners. We are looking to support 3 drivers from different championships, series, walks of life. We're going to pull a great bunch of companies together. We'll finalise them all first before we name drop, guys. For the ones that are in the room. But yeah,
there may be a couple here, maybe.
There may be a few here. We'll see. But so we did it last year. We had 5 great ambassadors last year. We're going to cut it down to 3 this year, so we can really focus on those 3. And it is, it's effectively sponsorship, but we're trying to make it more personal, more, give you guys the tools. But not only the drivers, we're looking the companies that want to get involved. If you want to boost your profile, you want to meet some great people, it's going to be a tornado of awesomeness. So join.
Well put.
There we go. What great last podcast now, Rob. We can finish a podcast on those words. A tornado of awesomeness. So, once again, thank you to our 3 guests.
What those things they've got underneath the title? Sorry, the strap line.
Yeah,
that's that for the ambassador program right there. A tornado of awesomeness.
The Club Racing UK Ambassador Program, the Tornado of Awesomeness.
Yeah,
so once again, a thank you to our 3 guests from All Square Rap and Ride, Chris Pratt.
Cheers.
From Roxit, Nick Underwood. And from Wired Remote from GoPro, who announced his retirement for only a year on the show tonight, Tom Barley. The 2 miscreants have been Stefan Marsh and Nick Holmes. I have been your podcast host, Robert Lewis. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Good night.
Cheers, Rob.
Cheers, Rob.